The purpose of this very brief video is to show you how to access the data that you're going to need for your Unit 5 assignment. So first, let's go look at Unit 5 and see what the assignment is. We click on Assignment, and we see it says go to the template in Doc Sharing in Unit 5 .docs. Okay, so that's where we're going to go. We go up to Doc Sharing, and we'll scroll down until we find the Unit 5 template. We click on that, and it's going to open in a Word document. So now we have the Word document. Okay. We can look at it briefly, and one of the things it says here at the beginning, it says prepare yourself for the assignment by reading the following 3 articles or web pages. It says Dr. David Abler's lecture. Okay, well, if we come, and it's in Doc Sharing. So if we come back over to Doc Sharing, we come down and we see Dr. Abler's Economic Conditions in Developing Countries. So you want to click on that and read it, but I'm not going to spend time to work on that right now. What I really want to do is show you how to get the information from the World Bank. It says go to the World Bank website, you see right here, and it says go to the bibliography to find it. Okay, and it says after you have read the items listed above, okay, go to the Data Research tab in the World Bank, and specifically select one developed country, such as United States, England, Canada, Germany, and select one developing country, such as a less developed country. Okay? And then it wants you to find their GDP growth annual percent data, and then put it into your assignment. And then the most important part of this is it wants you to explain the possible factors that may be adding to the differences between their gross domestic product rates. So we want to know why their GDP growth is not the same. Okay, so we know what we're going to do. So the first thing we need to do is go back up here to the bibliography that it referred to and download the data. Okay, so we go to the bibliography. And to make a little bit more room, I'm going to get rid of this information over here. And here's our World Bank link. Okay. You also see the economic issues link down here. So both of those links are there, but the World Bank is the one I'm concerned with. Okay. The economic issues 26 was this one up here that it wanted you to read. So, but for right now, I want you to go to the World Bank and pull up that data. Okay. So we've got World Bank. Okay. What does it say? It says go to Data and Research. Okay, so what we're going to do, I think we can also go down here and where it says View More Data, and we can do it by country. Okay, and then we're going to pick a country, and for right now, let's see what we have. We're looking for a developed country. Now here's Australia. Australia is relatively developed. So we'll click on that, and what information do we want from there? Okay, well, we want to go to the data bank because that's where the key information is going to be. So we'll click on data bank. Okay, and then it's going to give us this information: population, the gross domestic product growth rate per year, and its birth rate, or life expectancy, I should say. Okay, so what we want to do is get that information, okay, and we want to download it, okay, and we should be downloading it in the Excel format. So click download, click Excel, okay, and we click download, and in the meantime, let me get rid of this. I'm just going to minimize it. Okay, you notice down here in the corner it's doing our download. We want it to open, and our data pops up here in our Excel spreadsheet. Now, in order to make this legible, we're going to have to do a couple things. So first thing I'm going to do is bring it over so we can see what the numbers are. Okay, and we know that we have GNP per capita, GNI per capita is gross national investment. Okay, but let's get the numbers in a format that we can read them. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to highlight these that are not percentages but are dollars. Okay, and I'm going to say, let's see, oh, I have to enable editing. Enable editing, and then I'm going to highlight those again, and I'm going to, oops, I went one too many. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to convert that to format cells, and it takes a second for this to come up when I'm recording videos. It takes quite a bit longer. Okay, so I don't want any decimal places, and I want 1,000 separators, so it just makes it easier to read the numbers. Okay, so we'll put that up. Now we got the numbers, and this set of numbers is a percent. So what we're going to do, I have to go all the way across, and we're going to do this as a percent. Okay, and so again, we're going to format cells. I'm going to leave it as a number, but I'm going to leave it with just 2 decimal points. Okay, makes it a little bit easier to read. And then for life expectancy, since we're just going to do that, and we're going to format the cells again, and we're going to leave it as a whole number, and we'll just leave it with 1 decimal. We don't need 2. Okay, so that gives us an idea of the number of years. So now we have the information for Australia. Okay, so we see the country name and all. Okay, now with that said, we're going to again minimize this, or not minimize it, but slide it over, because we have to go get some more information. Okay. So now what we want to do is go backwards over here at the World Bank and pick another country. Okay, so we come back over here. We need to go back another notch till we pick countries. And let's see, we had Australia. We want some country that is less developed. How's about Somalia? Okay, so we click on Somalia. We're going to go do the same thing. Okay, we're going to click on Data Bank. Okay, and then we're going to click on Download, because we want all the information. Okay, so we click Download. We want it in Excel format, and we tell it download. Okay. Now it's going to open up a new Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so we're going to say open, and we're going to get a brand new Excel spreadsheet over here. And as soon as it pops up, and again, it takes a few seconds. I appreciate you bearing with me on this, but I think it's going to help you to actually see it done. Okay, so then you get the numbers and you're able to compare them. And bingo, now we have Somalia. Now it's a separate spreadsheet, and what we're going to have to do is go back and fix the numbers and then get them into the same format that we had before. And it's interesting because they don't even give us all the data. Okay, so that's interesting. As a matter of fact, it gives us population total and life expectancy. It doesn't even give us any GDP data, so that's not of any use to us. So we're going to delete that one out. Okay. And we'll again make this small. See, not everything works out the way you want it to sometimes. Okay, let's go pick a different country. So we'll go backwards, backwards. Okay, and let's try Senegal. Okay. Okay, we're going to go down again to the data bank part. Click on the data. We're going to download it in Excel. Click download. We're going to tell it to open. And then we're going to wait for it to grind away. And it takes a few seconds. Again, it's going to depend on the bandwidth on your computer system, what all your computer's doing in the background, and whether or not it's recording a video at the same time. So your stuff's going to go a lot quicker than mine. Okay, so now we see Senegal, and we have all the data we need. So we're going to enable editing. We're going to come back here, and we're going to take these numbers. We want to convert them to format cells. We want number, and we want no decimals, and we want comma separators. Okay? Just to make the numbers a little bit easier to read. Then we want this set of numbers, which are percent, and well, I'm not going to call them a percent. That's an option, but I don't want to do that. I want to make them a number with only 2 decimals. And that makes them easier to read. And then we're going to come down and do the age the same way, except we're only going to have 1 decimal for age. Okay? So we make it number and 1. Okay? And we go OK. So now we have all the information the same way for Australia that we had for Senegal. So we have both of them in the same format. So now what we can do is take the information and copy it to the other worksheet. So all I did was highlight it, right click, copy, and then I'm going to minimize this page. Okay? And what I'm going to do is paste this onto the page that had Australia. Okay? And I just skip a line, and I right click, and do paste. Okay. Hopefully. And again, it's a little slower. Okay. Now, I can do something that's a little bit, to clean this up if I wanted. But what I'm really interested in doing, okay, is if we look at these numbers, okay, what are we looking at? Here is the age, okay, compared to the age down here. Okay, so we can see that life expectancy is dramatically different in Australia than it is in Senegal. Okay, what about the GDP? Okay, well, here's GDP compared to GDP. And again, what we've done is we've put them in US dollars so it's easy to compare. So here we see 613 trillion. Okay, let's see. Hundreds, 100,000, million, 613 billion compared to 8 billion. Right? If we get over to the end, more current period, okay, we see that now Australia has 1.5 trillion compared to 14 billion. Okay? So both countries have grown, but how fast have they grown? Well, let's take a look at that. Okay? So we look at growth percentage compared to growth percentage, and we see that they're amazingly close. We've got here we got 4% growth compared to almost a 6%. And again, a smaller number, it's easier to grow a smaller number. Okay, here we see 3.3 compared to almost 2.5. Over here we have 3.7 to 3.68. That's really close. 1.65 to 2.42. So here Senegal was actually growing faster than Australia was in 2009. And remember, 2007, tail end 2007, 2008 is when the big recession hit the world. So it really impacted out here by 2009. Okay? And as we go across, we see that here the growth rate, even though the size of their economies are dramatically different, the growth rate in 2012 is virtually identical, 3.41 to 3.45, very close. Okay? So then the question becomes, in your analysis, based on the factors that were placed in the unit, in Unit 5, in the seminar that we discussed, and in the reading, what causes these two countries' growth rates to be so dramatically different. Now, when it comes time to put this information into your spreadsheet, into your assignment, you can just do the following. You would need the column that has the information in it as to what what each line means. You could copy that. I think the assignment doesn't ask you to go all the way back to 2004, but you could take, the last 3 years or so, or 4 years, 5, whatever you want, and paste those in to a separate spreadsheet. So what I might do, and again, I'm just going to do this just to kind of give you an idea. Okay? What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take here, and since this is important information, so I'm going to copy that, right-click, copy, and I'm going to paste it down here. Okay. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Paste. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to get the last 4 years. Oops. I'll go 5 years. Okay. And I'm going to bring that information down. I'm going to right-click it once I highlighted it, put copy, and then I'm going to paste it right here. Okay. Now I may have to expand my column a little bit to get those big numbers to fit, so I can do that. Now, by looking at this part, okay, that I just created here, okay, now obviously I need the country's name in the right place, so let's go back and get the country's name. Okay, we'll get Australia. I just need to copy it once, copy, and I'm going to put it right here. Okay. Paste, and then we get Senegal's name, right click, copy, paste. Okay. So now I've got the information that I want to put into my Oh, I see what I did. No? I see what I did. Okay. These numbers, I dropped down one too many lines. Okay. So let's go back and shift them up again. See, when I copied and pasted the numbers in, I went down one too many. So I'll do cut, and I'll come up here and do paste. Now I've got them lined up right. Okay, go down and do the same thing here. Cut, and move up one line and paste. I couldn't figure out why they weren't lining up correctly. Okay, so now I've got the information that I need to put into my Word document. Okay. I can even go so far as to tell it to format cells and do border and do so that I can see the lines in there. Okay. Now I've got it highlighted. I can copy the whole thing. Okay. Now what I want to do is make this a little bit smaller. And I want to bring up my Word document that I had. Okay. Now I can scroll down. I need to enable editing. Of course, you're going to need to add your cover sheet information and all the rest. Okay. But I can come right in here. Okay, and I can insert that page by just right-clicking and click paste. Okay. Now I've got it, and I may have to change the page layout to get it to fit. I may have to make it wide, and I may have to minimize the that does the trick nicely. I could also go up to page layout and minimize the margins if I needed to. Okay. So now what do I have? In my paper, I've got a chart with Australia's information and Senegal's information. Now I can do my explanation. Okay? And I can, explain away what the differences are. So that's how you would put this together. Okay? and then you'd proceed to answer the other questions that are in the assignment. Remember, you need references at the bottom, and you would need your cover sheet information at the top. I hope that's a help to you. I'm sorry it took so long, but I wanted you to see the details. Thank you.